All right, guys, in this video, we're gonna go through and close out our shapes for a Polaroid landscape. So we're gonna take everything that we've done so far, the foreground, the middle ground, and background, and we're gonna turn it into this. We're gonna add color to it, close out the shapes, and just go through the steps on how to do that. Now, if you remember from the vocabulary, a closed shape is any shape that has the beginning all the way up to the end being at the same place, just like this shape. For example, this shape right here is not a closed shape. It only has 3 different points. And you can see that it's not actually closed. A lot of the lines that we created were actually open shapes. Now, I'm gonna show you how to close those things out. So open up your file, go to Window, Workspace. If you have Essentials Classic already clicked, just hit Reset Essentials Classic so we could all look at it at the same way. And now on the right here, you should go to your Layers palette to open up one of your layers. Now we have the window, which is the white border that makes it look more like a Polaroid and has the information at the bottom that we don't want to open, so we just want to leave that locked. The next one is the foreground, which has this part right here. That's the one we want to unlock. And we're going to leave the rest of them locked right now. So for this bottom part, what I want to do, I want to see if they're open or closed. So with the selection tool, I'm going to select it. Now, when I created this one, it was a closed shape. I could see that because, let me zoom out. Remember when I did the weird things at the bottom? I said click, 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 just to like close it all out, right? It was a shape that I started all the way here on the left, and I went to the right, under, and then I came back around. That was to create a closed shape. Now, if you didn't create a closed shape for that, there's a way to change it, but I'll show you on mine, and then I'll show you what it means if you didn't close it. So for me, mine is already closed, so all I have to do is change it from a stroke with no fill, flip this, to now be a fill with no stroke. And now that's filled in. And now this one right here is also a closed shape. Why? Because when I went around here, I went around and just closed that part, right? So again, I flip it, and now I have a pink fill with no stroke. All right, so now for the middle ground, I could, actually no, there's one more thing to do. If you noticed, right, there's this little piece right here. That will be something that I have to cut out of my shape. So what I want to do, yes, I want to fill this in with pink or whatever color you have for right now. And then I want to send this to the back. So Object, Arrange, Send to the back. I'm actually going to change the color of it so that you guys could see it a little bit better. I'm going to double click here. I don't know, make it green for right now, this turquoise color, right? You can see that this is on top and then this is on the bottom. That's the only reason I changed the color, was just to show you this. But what I want to do, I want to select that image at the top, and then I want to select the image at the bottom. But before I select the image at the bottom, I hold Shift so that I'm able to select both. You can see like this one selected. Oops, this one's selected. If I hold Shift and click on this one, now both of them are selected. So I'm going to show you a new tool, and this tool is called the Pathfinder tool. So if you go up to Window, and then it should be P for Pathfinder. This tool allows you to join shapes together, cut out a shape from the front, right? This says minus front, intersection. You have a lot of different options with this tool. What I want to do is to actually use the second one, which is minus front. And there you go. It clipped out that part of my shape. I'm going to leave it that turquoise color for right now. All right. And then I'm going to lock this layer. I'm going to go to my middle layer now, or middle ground layer. So for this one, most of us, including me, I did not close this shape. This is on purpose on my end. On your end, it may not have been, maybe you weren't sure like what was gonna be the next part. But for the middle ground, I'm gonna show you, and this would apply to the foreground too if you didn't close your shapes for those, all right? So what you wanna do, you have a line that starts here and then it ends over here. What you wanna do is go to the pen tool, and I'll zoom in a little bit more. You go to the pen tool and you want to actually continue that line. I'll zoom in. This is a regular pen tool, right? So if I come over here, it changes. You see that little dash right behind it? So that tells me that I want to continue a line, which is correct. I do want to continue it. I click, and remember, anything inside of this window or outside of where we're actually able to see, it doesn't matter, right? Now, when it comes to this part, I want to get it somewhat in the middle here. I don't want to get it down here, and I don't want to get it up here because I want my shape to be right at the middle, somewhere where you can't see it. Now, you won't see anything inside of this area, like this turquoise area here, but if you go here, you will, and if you go here, you will. Basically, I'm just trying to close out my shape and go from the beginning all the way up to the end. So for me, once I come over here, you see the pen tool has that circle there. It means that I've gone full circle, that I've gone to the place where it will close out my shape. So if I click on this, I have a closed shape now. So I started with just a line that was an open shape, and now I have a closed shape. And if I want to change that, again, I could flip the colors over right over here. Right now, it's a red stroke with no fill. If I flip it over, it's a red fill with no stroke. And there it is. And notice, you don't see any of that zigzag stuff that I did there, nor do you see it on the left side right here. All right, that's my middle ground. And now I want to go into my background. So I lock or click the lock of my background to unlock it. And I have everything else locked just so that way I don't mess anything else up. And then I'm going to click on one of my clouds. Again, this cloud is an open shape. And this is the same step again for the foreground if you didn't close out your shapes there. But pen tool, which is the third tool on the right over here. Click on that. And I'm going to continue on here. Again, it has that dash right after the pen tool icon. So I could click to restart it. And I'm going to come all the way down here. And here, here, and here, right? And that created a closed shape. Now again, I could flip this over. I'm gonna actually change the color of this. Instead of orange, I'm gonna double click. A cloud is white, sure, but let's just do something different so that way you understand that this isn't supposed to be accurate as far as the colors right now. I'll do green. There it is. And I'm actually gonna send this to the back. So go up to the top up here where it says Object, Arrange, Send to the back. So you could send stuff to the front, send stuff to the back. All right. Now, the reason I sent it to the back was because I realized, hey, I forgot to close out the tree line, right? So here I am at the tree line. I'm going to select it. I'm going to move over here. Again, same steps, pen tool, click to continue it. And anything I do here, you won't see it. Click, and then I'm going to close it out right there. And then I'm going to flip these two colors so that it could be an orange fill with no stroke. All right. I have these clouds right here. For me, these clouds were actually closed, but if it's not a closed shape, I could tell it it's closed because I did the zigzag stuff on this side. But if it's not closed, you can use the same steps, right? The pen tool, close those things out, flip the color. For me, it's just flip the color. This one, select it, flip the color. And then the last thing that you want to do for the background, you want to create a space for it to be the sky. We never drew the sky just because it's a square, really. Like everything else is cloud. So I'm going to click on the fifth tool. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the left. All right, that's the square right there. If you don't see the square, if you click and hold it down, just like with any tool that has those little arrows on the right corner of it, right? If you click and hold it down, you can see all these different shapes. Don't play around with those other shapes yet, especially for this example. But the rectangle tool is going to be the one I'm going to use. I'm going to click and drag to create a sky. I'm going to click it all the way over here. Now it's covering everything else up. Just in case, I'm going to change the color, double click. I'm running out of colors. This weird pink again. There, more purplish. Hit OK. And I'm going to go to Object, Arrange, Send to Back. Now, I also want to do that for the water. So for the water, I'm going to lock my background layer there. I'm going to go to my foreground layer, click to highlight that. The same tool, this rectangle, I'm going to click and drag any spot that I could see the photo, right? So all the way up to here. There you go. And I'm gonna change the color. Let's see, I've done red. This light blue, right? There it is. Object, arrange, send to back. And then that's it. I've added my color. Just as a reminder, this is supposed to be like cut paper. I'm gonna show you in the next video how to add texture, how to add the 3D effect. And remember, we're going off of Marguerite Sprinkle's work, which is all cut paper.